Today we received more Destiny 2 news, specifically a PvP reveal from IGN first. The month of July sees a number of different releases from IGN, exclusive coverage about new stuff coming to Destiny 2, and today the focus was on a new PvP map, as well as some changes to control, and finally some new gameplay from the Sentinel Titan and the Voidwalker Warlock. So let's get straight into the details. First of all, we do see a new map here. It's called the Endless Vale. It's fairly familiar to anyone that's watched any Destiny 2 gameplay to this point. It's set on one of the new planets in Destiny, and it's a Vex-themed area. You can see the Vex architecture as well as these red flowers on the ground. They almost look like poppies. You'll see a lot of that in the Adverted Spire strike, which is going to be available during the beta. The map maintains Bungie's excellent track record of good, strong level design, a big focus on up-close and personal gameplay, very reliant on things like SMGs or sidearms, but also a few long sight lines, especially in the main area where you're going to be trying to contest B. Overall, I think it looks like it maintains the standard that we've come to expect from Bungie to this point. Way more exciting than that though are the changes coming to control. So this time around, the points A and C are automatically going to be captured for you at the start of the game. If anyone played Destiny 1, you'd know that points A and C were up for grabs, and you typically have a number of people standing there at the very start of the map, while a few other people went and YOLO'd it straight to B. That won't happen anymore now, where your entire team is going to be going full YOLO mode right for B at the very beginning of the map, which means the opening 10 to 15 seconds of the game are going to be very, very tense indeed. Personally, I think this is a really good change. I'm the kind of player that always made the B line because it made sense to try and advance and try and capture B first, rather than secure an objective A, which was already going to be yours anyway if you waited a few seconds longer. So I think this is overall a very good streamlining of the opening moments of a match. Furthermore, they've also made changes to the way that points are actually captured. Where before you would capture enemy territory by first sending it neutral and then capturing it, now it just goes straight from being enemy territory to your territory. And what's more than that, it actually doesn't cap any faster the more people you have standing on it. Before, if you had 5 people standing on a capture point, it's going to capture really fast, where it's going to be much slower if just one person was on there. Now, whether you've got 5 or 1 on that capture point, it's going to capture at exactly the same speed, which means individuals are going to be able to sneak in behind and capture enemy points much faster. And when you see a teammate capping a point, you don't need to go and stand on there with them. You can focus on zone control and making sure that no other enemies get close. Again, a really great change there. I think it's definitely just a very smart addition to the overall flow of control. On top of all of this, we saw some new gameplay for both the Sentinel Titan and the Voidwalker Warlock. In particular, the Sentinel Titan gameplay was awesome. You can see him using his new Titan wall in really interesting ways, zoning out the enemies as soon as he gets onto a new point, creating really clear sight lines that he can manage more tightly. I think the thing that interested me most about this new gameplay was the way this Titan was using their minigun. You can see how much pre-firing goes into the use of this weapon. Pre-firing is a technique whereby you start firing before you see your target or before you round a corner, and the reason you do that with the minigun in particular is because it has a fair amount of ramp up time associated with it. The longer you hold the trigger, the faster the bullets will come out of the gun. So it's a really nice strategy to make sure you're firing at the maximum rate of fire when you do engage an enemy. Definitely a high skill cap factor associated with that weapon. I'm very, very looking forward to getting my hands on it properly in PvP. The highlight of the show was a good look at the Sentinel Titan Super in action. You can see him pop it here, and you can see him dashing around like a madman. Anyone that's ever used a shield in the old Vault of Glass is going to be really familiar with how it feels to use a Titan Sentinel shield. You can see the mechanics of it, the way he dashes and moves and sort of like throws it in front of himself while he's advancing in enemies. That's very, very reminiscent of how it felt to use the old shield back in the day in the Vault of Glass. You can of course throw it as well, and he does throw it at one point, but certainly the way he's using it here is very much about getting up close and personal to enemies, charging them in the face with it, Captain America style. Personally, I think this looks like the most awesome super in all of Destiny, so I'm very keen to use this myself. We also got a good look at Voidwalker gameplay. Voidwalker is a bit of a familiar class right now. The Sentinel obviously is new new to the game, but the Voidwalker has been around since vanilla. It has seen some changes this time around though. In particular, there are new scatter grenades, and the Nova Bomb seems very different. From what we can tell, instead of being a really fast-moving projectile, it seems to track really slowly and sort of follow enemies, and then when it explodes, it seems to explode into like numerous little explosions, and yeah, it looked pretty awesome. You can kind of hear the sounds of it going long after the initial explosion occurred. You heard smaller explosions occurring after that. So not exactly sure how that works right now. We need to see a little bit more gameplay to really analyze that, but it's definitely a very different type of Nova Bomb this time around. Anyway guys, that's it. That is the reveal from today. Plenty of juicy information about Destiny 2's PvP. The main story that they were really trying to impress as they were explaining it all is that they want PvP to be a more streamlined affair, more learnable, and really focus more on mastery. Don't forget that player counts are going from 6v6 to 4v4, so things are less frantic and a lot more strategic. If you're off the map because you just died, your absence is going to be a lot more felt. There's also going to be slower recharge time on things like supers, one-shot sticky grenades are gone, and most of the power weapons won't one-shot you either. So there are huge changes coming to almost every front. Personally, I look forward to it. I think a more competitive PvP experience in Destiny is unquestionably a good thing, so let's hope that all of these changes add up to a better experience. I'm certainly looking forward to them. I hope you are too. Don't forget the beta is live in a week on PlayStation 4 if you have pre-ordered, and then after that the beta becomes available on Xbox, and then later on it becomes an open beta. So be sure to check out those details. Sign up on the Bungie website if you're keen to get into all of that action. Make sure you have your pre-order in if you're into pre-ordering. If you're not, that's totally cool, but make sure you do get in on the beta by some means, because you want to be able to decide whether or not Destiny 2 is a game for you, especially if you haven't played it before. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop the video a like and subscribe for Destiny content. I'm involved in a very exciting, very secret beta event that I can't talk about yet, but I'll provide more details on that soon, so be sure to stick around for that. For now guys, thank you for watching, take good care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.